How to be a good game reviewer.
Welcome to IGN, kid. So you're our new reviewer, huh? I'll be your handler, Walter White. I'm gonna show you how to do a good game review. Polly?
I love how Donkey can say something that's so fucking stupid, but just the way he says it, it's just funny.
Bring up that one stupid-ass one.
Immortals of Avium is an impressively confident first-person shooter.
They need to keep this guy on the reviews. 8 out of 10. Good thinking. He's an...
What dumb fuck let this game go through? Oh, by the way, the Immortals of Avium, they're apparently letting all of their staff go and the entire studio is falling apart. I'll have to show you guys that after this.
old pro. Now, Polly, bring up one of our bad reviews that we like to do.
Monotonous micromanagement, a poor interface, and by-the-numbers combat.
What's
This
this?
game scored a 75 out of 100 rating for PS5 on Metacritic from the critics. Seems pretty decent, unlike this
The
review.
critics?
4 out of 10.
Bad.
Fucking amateur. I remember this kid.
I feel like 4 out of 10 isn't bad. 4 out of 10 is it needs work. A 2 out of 10 is bad. A 3 out of 10 is like not so good. Yeah, it's below average.
He was nice. Quit the next day. Polly, get this shit show off the screen. Put on our Boulder...
Bro, y'all are so fucking, like, y'all think an average game is an 8. Like, 8 is in the middle of game reviews. Like, the average reviewed game gets an 8. No, bro. There's, like, 7 other numbers under that. Recalibrate your mind.
Cape review.
Baldur's Gate 3 is just about everything I could have asked for.
Oh boy. IGN really made a comeback. 10 out of 10. Good thinking.
The shallow number of samey maps can get monotonous pretty quickly.
This game looks like shit. No way this dude has played other horror asymmetricals or even understands the genre.
If you've played any asymmetrical horror game, be that Dead by Daylight or Friday the 13th, Evil Dead or Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed,
Travis Northup needs to apologize for his reviews big time.
Dave the Diver never stopped surprising me. Easily one of the best games I've played this year so far.
Great review. Might pick it up. Thanks, IGN.
Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life doesn't
So is he saying basically that the people that say that it's a bad review only say it's a bad review because you're not being a fanboy for the game that they like?
offend, but it sure doesn't impress.
I'm starting to see
It's
where we're
supposed to
going
feel
here.
dated. Love this game.
Final Fantasy 16 really impressed me.
Great review. Fair points were made.
Diablo 4 is completely awesome to behold.
Agreed for once. 9 is an accurate rating. Great game for sure.
It was until you got to World Tier 4.
Octopath Traveler 2 is another good old-fashioned 80-hour JRPG.
7 is a piss-poor score for this. It deserves an 8 at minimum. This
Look at his fucking profile picture.
guy was all over the place with his review.
Honkai Star Rail is the best free-to-play game of the year so far.
Amazing review. Amazing game.
This is a sadly lackluster follow-up to Modern Warfare 2019's refined take on a Call of Duty campaign.
6 out of 10. IGN died long ago.
Make you feel like...
By the way, this happens to me too. Like, if I ever give a review for a game, like, if I ever criticize something that, like, the hive mind thinks is good, they get so mad at me. Remember whenever I said, yeah, Wu Long, and remember that boss that I did in Blasphemous last night I said was dog shit, everybody was getting pissed off about it? Yeah, well, guess what? I was fucking right. Yeah, Starfield? Well, I think Starfield, there was enough people that were negative about it. Yeah, it's White Knight Defenders, exactly. And it's to say, it's the opposite, right? It's that every review, it only matters if you're agreeing with the majority of people. That's all there is to it. So there's a very simple list, right? You've got good games, and then you have bad games, okay? And so if you say something about a good game that could put it in the bad game category, well, then you're wrong. And if you say something about a bad game that's good, well, then you're wrong. That's it. No using brain. There's no nuance to this. There's no, well, they also had this good thing. Yeah, Skill Up Final Fantasy 16 review. He did not like it as much, and he got so much backlash. That's true. I think the Skill Up Final Fantasy review was a great example. Absolutely. Review is not right or wrong. It's about the reviewer opinion. Yes, and opinions can be right or wrong. Who decides good from bad? Well, the person reviewing the game, making the video about it does. That's the way a review works. So that, yeah, I don't know if you understand how like the dynamic goes, but like usually people will like interface with the content and then review it. No, God doesn't review the game.
Spider-Man?
Jesus, give this man a raise or something, and keep adding more people passionate like him for video game reviews.
But if you haven't already played it on Wii, the deluxe version is the ideal way to see what a traditional Kirby
Oh, bro, like you know fanboys are gonna get mad about a 7 on a Kirby game.
Game is all about.
Another IGN reviewer that doesn't understand the Kirby series.
This is Ragnar,
And you saw his profile picture had Mario and Luigi. Fucking Nintendo fanboy.
he is my large adult demon son.
Wow, that was actually an amazing review. I'll take my hat off and admit it.
Yep.
Sometimes nostalgia makes things from the past seem better than they actually are.
I've learned over the years not to trust IGN.
I actually agree with this one. Isn't this Super Monkey Balls? Yeah, this game was so good. Bro, I love this game. Like, I went so hard on this game. I was actually watching Mizkif and Emeru play this game. Bro, they sucked. Oh my god. Bro, I was better than that when I was 12. Like, what the fuck are they doing? Like, it's the same maps, too.
Things from the past seem better than they actually are.
I've learned over the years not to trust IGN. If you want a real review, go over to GameSpot.
The way he leaps off of rooftops and flips backwards to face the camera before falling into a headfirst dive is just full of the exaggerated swagger of a black teen. It gives me goosebumps every time he does it.
It's Metroid. I love those games.
That was the best IGN review I've seen in a decade.
But he's hoping that Sega can show some better judgment in the series' future.
Here's a hint, IGN. It helps when you get a reviewer that actually wants to play the game they're reviewing.
That's always what happens. Remember whenever I played Wulong and I did the review of the game and I said the game was garbage and then it got 500,000 views? It was like just a straight like 4-hour VOD. And everybody was so angry at me that I said, fuck you guys, I'm gonna play the entire game. And I finished the entire game and I said it was garbage. That's what you have to do. You have to show it to them, the entire thing. I said the whole thing is gonna be shit. I'm gonna prove it to you. I'm gonna eat all of the shit. I'm gonna eat every single piece of shit in here to prove to you how bad it tastes.
Like me.
Cyberpunk 2077's impressively flexible design makes it a truly remarkable RPG.
Great review. I'm sure the patches will fix everything. Best to wait a few weeks to play.
Shenmue 3,
He was right.
in all its oddity, exists.
You're criticizing the game. This is not a proper review.
While
It's not a proper review unless you agree with me. Yeah, you don't understand. Anybody who has a different score for the game is just fucking wrong. Yeah, that's not a real review.
For some mischaracterization opportunities, Age of Calamity remains a blast from start to finish.
IGN finally gives a fair and great review. Super hyped to pick this game up tomorrow.
But while it may not be the most stylish or polished, its rugged and brutal look at the muddy business of Scandinavian expansion is as memorable and dense as an Assassin's Creed has ever been.
Thank you for making a non-biased review. Best review I have seen. Many others are obviously haters of Ubisoft.
But there aren't enough interesting weapons to keep the battles from getting dull.
This guy has obviously never played a serious Sam game in his life.
Pikmin 4.
Oh my god. Yeah, what a great frame of reference. When was the last time I heard of Serious Sam? Like Nintendo 64? Yeah, let's do what they did in 1999. These all look like bot comments? So they're not. And you can tell that it's not a bot comment because it doesn't have a girl in lingerie where it has her name. It's like Amanda, and then it has like weird text and it says, click my profile. Those are the bot comments.
Absolute failure of a Pikmin game and an insult to the masterpieces that came before it.
Really enjoyed this review. It was clear the reviewer had great in-depth knowledge and
Saints Row the third? More like this is the third time I've reviewed Saints Row 3.
Guys, ignore this review.
But the impressive graphics.
By the way, that entire studio shut down because of how bad that game was. Wasn't that it? I think that was the studio. Good. Winners win and losers lose.
Overhaul and welcome quality of life improvements make this the best version of Xenoblade Chronicles we've ever had.
This is
kind of a
actually
name is
such a terrible review. Did you even play the game's main story?
Bro, who does this? Who does this? Oh my god!
spoil one of the biggest plot points in this game to flex your endgame gear or whatever, you mispronounce names of major characters that you...
Mind-bogglingly cool, and an absolutely unparalleled way to virtually explore our world.
This review was phenomenal. We need more reviews like this, IGN. Give this man a raise.
But those few bright spots aren't enough to bring Battle for Bikini Bottom's passable but simplistic gameplay up to the standard of a 2020 platformer.
This is why gamers should review games, not journalists.
Kingdom Hearts 3's Remind DLC is oddly jumbled.
Trash! Fire this guy! This is literally the worst review I've ever seen. They should have got a fan of the series to review this.
I love how they say that. Like, you should get somebody who likes the type, like, you wouldn't, it's a bad idea to have somebody who actually doesn't like those types of games to play the game, right? Like, you have somebody who doesn't like platformers, go play the new Mario, probably gonna have a bad time. But, like, if you like platformers and you don't like a certain game, like, yeah, it's definitely your opinion. Warped logic? Well, it's not warped logic, it's fanboy logic.
Said, I'm impressed by how much Square Enix has stuck the landing for one of my favorite long-running series. And that's why it's so exciting to see that Kingdom Hearts 3 is as full of heart as it ever has been.
Great job, Jonathan. Honestly, I don't know who else could have done this review besides you.
Jesus. So there it is. If you are positive about a game, it's because, well, and I think also it depends on the game. Like, Forspoken, everybody hated it. Hogwarts Legacy, everybody liked it. Final Fantasy 16, everybody liked it. Starfield, I think most people didn't like it. It's more popular to shit on the game. Gollum, everybody hated it. So it's more about, like, having the opinion that everybody else has. Now, where was this game, Immortals of Avenum? Let me see if I can show you guys. There's this, Immortals of Avenum studio close. Yeah, here we go. So this came out 2 days ago. I didn't really talk about this at all, but there is a massive amount of layoffs after Immortals of Avenum comes out and cited poor sales. So let's actually see how many people are playing this game. We'll see what's going on here, how many people are around. Immortals of Avenum, there it is. Okay, so let's see how many people are playing. This game, basically, it was so much of a piece of shit that Paul Tassi from Forbes legitimately went out and wrote an article about why influencer marketing doesn't work because they paid so many streamers, which, by the way, one of the streamers they paid to stream it was F Extra Life, so they got totally fucking scammed and completely wasted their money. They should have paid somebody else, anybody else, to do it, rather than the viewbotters. However, it had a peak viewership of 220,000 viewers. They got ultra scammed. They did. They should have paid that money to a developer. Maybe they could have actually made the game good. And now it has 24. And the amount of viewers it has right now, 3. And the amount of live channels is 3. Which means that every single one of them only has their own stream open on another browser. That is so fucking sad.